Hi, welcome to 50 Plus Tech. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I passed the PMP in 2023. I passed January 23rd at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and leading up to it was a somewhat interesting story. I've been working in tech for a while, working at the same company for 9 years. In about 2 weeks, it'll be 9 years. And I just decided that I had already been doing some project management. I had taken the Google Project Management Professional certification, but it wasn't really official PMI, Project Management Institute. And I wrestled with it for a little bit because I just turned 59 in March, and I'm nearing 60. I'm about 5 to 7 years away from retirement. Knock on plaster. Knock on this. So I really kind of went back and forth. Do I do this now? I really don't have much more, time in my career per se, so should I do it? So I did finally decide that I would give it a try, and asked my boss. Boss said, go ahead, because I can get reimbursed for the certification. So I went ahead, and I had already gotten a little bit of some background when I took this stuff in the Google Project Management, but I was second-guessing myself the entire time. So I've got 11 things to do and 3 things to don't. Okay, so let me just take a real quick my notes. All right. First of all, I'm just a disclaimer. I'm not an instructor. Everybody learns differently. The way that I did it may not work for you or for somebody else, but this is how I went from, I think I'm going to take it, to doing above target on all 3 areas, which really, honestly, surprised me. So, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, let me just real quick. All right, so the first thing is that buy the books. Okay, so I got you can see over here, I got this one, which is Andrew Ramdayals' book that goes with his Udemy course, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I got a few more. I just kind of was buying books, but what I would say about this is don't read them from cover to cover. Use them more like a Bible or background or something where you can go and do some research on it afterwards, but don't read it from cover to cover. Get Andrew's Udemy course, and sometimes it can be $14.99 on Udemy. Get his course, and I think you get the book with it, and then you take the book and his course and go through the whole thing one time at least at full speed. Don't go 1.5 or 2 or whatever. Just go at full speed. So I did that, and then that was really helpful. It got me started. And yeah, I took his course. I kind of bought it backwards. I bought the book first, and then I went and found his course. So go get his course, and I think you get the book. And make sure you are up to date, because I started studying for it in 2022, and in the time that I was studying to when I took my exam, they came out with another book. So I got this one. So we got this one. I'm having some trouble getting stuff around. I didn't think it was going to be a problem. Okay, and let me get these other 2 that are here. Get the thing down. I also got Pumbach 6th edition. This was in 2022, though. You probably just need the 7th. And then I got the Agile. You'll need Agile book for Andrew's book as well. He's got like an Agile practice guide and the Pumbach guide. And for 2023, I think you need to get, I bought this, but I never really needed to touch it because I had already taken the exam. But here is Process Group Practice Guide, and then So I imagine these are the ones that you want to get for this year. For the rest of this year. Okay, so I did that. Okay. So I said, watch every single video of Andrew's course at normal speed. And one of the things to keep in mind is when you're watching his course, you're doing it at normal speed, pay extra attention to those little gray bars or little gray marks at the bottom of the video. And that is usually something that you want to stop the video and take notes. Because those are usually things that are going to be on the exam. So I did that. Okay, and then watch his videos again at 1.5 or 2x. Watch the mindset section over and over and over again. There is also a 49 processes sheet that you get in the beginning, process groups and knowledge base. You guys won't be able to see this, so I'll just show you that this is what it is. This is really, really important to be able to recreate. And there is a game that you can do. There's a little testing thing where you can go in and fill in all the different processes. I'll do a closer picture of this so you can see. So do that game over and over until you get 90% multiple times in a row. And that helped a lot. Andrew wasn't the only one. Let me see real quick. Okay, so then 49 processes game, I'll put that in the description at the bottom so that you can go and take that after you've gone through the whole process. Then, and you've watched it 1.5 to 2, so you've watched it entire. You've watched his course all the way through the end at full speed, making notes of all the little gray markers. And then watch him again at 1.5 to 2, just kind of review. Watch the mindset section over and over. Just keep watching it. And then do the 49 processes game over and over. Again, those will be on the bottom. Just keep playing it until you get 90% over and over again. Then you take the TIA. I definitely would take the TIA mock exams and use what we call a rubber duck, friend, study group, or whatever, to go over the, helps you to go over the mindset stuff. Because I'm telling you, most of it is mindset. If you're already a project manager, then you would probably have a good idea of how to answer the questions in a mindset. Learn the formulas, but you don't have to memorize. You need to know why you would use formula. Don't just memorize the formulas in a table or something. Just make sure that you know what where you would use it and in what scenario and things like that. It's mostly scenario. There's a couple questions in there that are definitions. So there's a couple questions with definitions. So, but mostly scenario. You are project manager so-and-so. Your manager wants you to do this, that, and other thing. One of the members of, one of the people in your project team is doing X, Y, and Z. How do you handle it? And then you have different scenarios. Some of them are kind of close. There are a few tricky ones, and they're not too bad. Richard Vargas is another one. I would watch his video. I'll put it on the bottom. And he has another process flow document where you cut out all the different resources and procurement and, all the different processes. And then you cut it out and then you glue it into the right place. And I will get a actual better picture of this so you can see. But definitely do this and watch his video all the way through. Also, going to be in the description. These are all things that I felt really made a difference in whether I passed or not. I went to Andrew Ramdayals' weekly live stream because he goes over 5 questions and then like the scenario mindset type question with the answers, and then he goes through them to show you if you got it wrong, you'll know why. He explains it to you in depth. So definitely, it's on YouTube. He has it every week. Everybody goes. He does a little lesson type thing. He does 5 videos. Definitely go. David McLachlan's scenario questions are, now with David McLachlan, I watched all of them that I could see, and I'm sure there's been new ones since January. But what he tends to do is do like 100 questions in one great big hours-long video, or he breaks them up into 10 apiece. So I found for me, because of the way my schedule was, it worked better if I just did 10 a night or 5 a night or whatever. So I would do that. I will put I'll put this down below. Yeah, just go through 10. I just made notes for myself so I wouldn't forget. So I have 3 things that stands out for me, what not to do. Don't let too much time lapse between periods. Because I was fighting with myself over whether I should pursue this or not, I let some time go between. I would study really crazy, I'd work full time and then study 2 or 3 hours a night and then study 5 or 6 hours on the weekend. But then I got a little concerned, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, so I kind of gave up on myself. And when you do that, you lose your momentum. So if you're going to go ahead and take this PMP, plan on setting aside 3 to 5 months to just study, etc., until you just keep studying until you take the exam. Don't let yourself be talked out of taking that exam, because you will pass it as long as you follow, get to know the mindsets, do the work, and you will be able to pass it for sure. See, I had to go back over stuff because I let some months go by where I wasn't studying every week. So study every week up until you take the exam. Don't memorize. Learn how the processes are used. There's some drag and drop terms, not too many, but there's a few. But don't memorize them. Just know how they apply to the things they're asking for. Do not memorize by rote, because it will be really difficult to pass the exam that way. Okay, don't assume, I'm going to read this so I can get it right. Don't assume that getting higher scores, or lower scores for that matter, on your practice test means you're going to ace the test or fail. If you do well on first few practice tests, don't stop. Do as many mock exams as you can. Mock exams those are fantastic. And one of the things that I found was great was to do the mock exam, and then I would work with my friend who was my rubber duck, and I would try to figure out how I got it wrong and talk it out, even though he's not in that same space. But I could work it out while I was talking to him. And I don't recommend that you do a study group in the beginning. I recommend you take his courses, go through all the stuff I told you about, go to Ricardo Vargas, David McLachlan, do all that, and then when you are doing the mock exams and things like that, then join a group, find a couple more people that are going to go take their exam, and take your exams, and then bounce off what could have gone wrong if you get something wrong. He also has really good videos on those mock exams that explain to you why you got it wrong. So those were the 3. Don't let too much time lapse. Don't memorize. Learn how everything works within each other, instead of just, I know what this. Because when I first started looking at becoming a PMP, it was a couple years ago, and back then you had to memorize 700 terms. And then by the time I actually dug down and started actually studying like I was supposed to be, it had changed, and it wasn't 700 terms. It was know the mindset, know the scenarios, know what to do if you're presented with certain things. So that changed for me. So you do not need to memorize all of them. Okay, and so I took the exam at home because I have a 79-year-old mom that I was worried, if I go take the exam and I get COVID and I come home, I'm going to give it to her. That's not as much consideration as it was when I took the exam, because we still have some issues that we have to be careful with. So I took it at home, and let me tell you this. You better make sure that there's nothing nearby that looks like you could use it to cheat. I had left some earbuds, some little buds for my phone over in the corner. I had cleared off the whole area around here, and they still found stuff. And I had to take my camera, go like this over the tops of the monitors and every area. It took me about a half hour. So just make sure you're completely cleared, and then they should be good. And the exam felt a little difficult, but I would reread, go through them, and then you can save that. You can set them aside to go back to. So if you get stuck on one, just save it, go to all the other ones, and come back to that one. And just keep in mind, it's all about mindset. It's all about what would you do if you were in this situation? How would you handle it? So I hope that's helpful. I mean, I'm really excited I got it. I've been able to use it for my current work, for my current job. I'm considering getting some more credentials now, but when I first started, it was like, you're getting too old to really be, absorbing all these credentials. But at the same time, I feel like I can probably use what I learned in the credentialing I got after I retire. So it worked out well for me. If you have any questions, ask in the underneath. I will fill up the description with links to all the things I found useful and some write-up. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.